Okay, so I want to close out this lesson, these notes, by just covering this last example and letting you guys try that guided practice. And I know I didn't really do a good job of using my time wisely on that last video, so this won't be the norm. I'm going to try and split these up a little bit better. That last video is really long. This one's going to be short. So this example just shows how we can use properties to rewrite things and prove certain equations, okay? So with this example right here, show that 9 plus parentheses b minus 9 is equal to b. So a couple things we can assume here. One thing we can assume, at least, is that we can always rewrite subtraction as addition, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to rewrite this as 9 plus b plus negative 9 equals b. We can always rewrite addition as subtraction, okay? Because not b minus 9 and b plus negative 9 are the same exact thing, okay? So then, now I'm going to use some of the properties we learned before to rewrite this. So I'm going to rewrite this left-hand side of the equation as 9 plus negative 9 plus b equals b. And the reason I can do that is I moved this negative 9 around. I shifted around the order of the numbers. So I used our commutative property to do that, okay? So we can use those properties to rewrite things to prove things. So I can rearrange my addition and it be the same thing, okay? So to go further, 9 plus negative 9, I should do this in a different color, 9 plus negative 9, we know is 0. And we know that because those are additive inverses. So I can rewrite it this way because of that inverse property of addition, all right? 9 plus negative 9 gives me 0. And then finally, I can say b is equal to b because I know if I add 0 to something, it doesn't change the value. So b equals b, and the reason I can say that is our identity property, okay? The identity property. So that's just an example of us being able to rewrite things and prove things using our properties and using things that we have learned before, we have talked about before, okay? So right now would be a good time to pause the video and try the guided practice, okay? And then more often than not, I'm going to show you the solution to the guided practice and you can kind of self-check. So pause the video right now, try the guided practice, and then once you restart it, you're gonna see me work through it, okay? So this guided practice, rewriting things, just like above, I can rewrite division as multiplication. I can rewrite a divided by 5 as a times the inverse of 5, which is 1/5, the reciprocal. So that's we call that the multiplicative inverse. So that's what I multiply by 5 to get 1, right? And then just like above, I'm gonna use my commutative property. 5 times 1/5 times a equals a. So that's my commutative property. I rearrange the order of my multiplication to make it more visually appealing so I can work some things out. And from that, I can tell myself 5 times 1/5, I know that's 1. So I can rewrite that as 1 times a. And the reason I can do that is that's again our inverse. And I'm not even gonna fit it on the page. That's our inverse, okay? So we can write it as 1 times a. And you guys are smart kids. We've done this before. We know that anything times 1 is itself, right? A times 1 is a. So I can say to myself, a equals a. And that's our identity property of multiplication. So again, using our properties to prove some things, okay? To show that that statement is true, right? And a lot of it is just simplifying and moving things around. And you guys probably could have done this in some other way and not shown the properties, but you're still using those properties, okay? So now would be a good time to move on to that next step in your lesson and think about maybe asking me for some help if this video didn't help you very much. But again, I'm gonna try and make these videos better as the year goes on, all right? I'm gonna try and make it a little more visually appealing, maybe explain a little bit better, but the main thing is that you get the big idea in these videos, okay? And you can kind of piece things together as you go. So this is part of the lesson, right? This is part of the lesson. So move on to that next step. Let me know if you need help, and just be patient with me. I'll keep revising and trying to get better at these. My handwriting will hopefully get better.